If you feel like I really want to do Facebook Live, but I am struggling, then this video is for you. So I'm going to give you 5 solutions on how you can get started with Facebook Live. And then I have something in the end of this video for you. So watch the whole video through. Drop a comment if you have any questions. You know that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you. So let's get started. Ready? Y'all see Phoenix back there? Somewhere right about there. So I feel like she's my co-host. So we just let her do her thing because you guys love her sometimes more than me. All right. So anyway, so let's get started. So the first thing that you really want to do is just start. The more time you waste saying, I want to do Facebook Live, 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 I really want to do Facebook Live. The more time you do that, you're not going to do it. So I'm giving you permission to start now using Facebook Live. Boom. Next, I want you to really get rid of your limiting thoughts. No one is perfect. I've gone live in my Facebook group and I'm talking and I got through a whole presentation. Nobody heard me because Facebook had a glitch or my mic had a glitch or whatever the case may be. So what did I do? I just, for the moment, said, dang it, I was really loving that. I went back and I redid it. No, nothing's perfect. I just scratched my arm in a video. Like, hello, things happen. So stop thinking that you have to have this perfect, elaborate production. Yeah, some people that I see come through my feed or that I'm in their groups or whatever, like they have these elaborate like things flying across the screen and all these sound effects. Great. If you can do all that and that's your style, like absolutely go for it. But I can tell you that most of those people have people on their team that are actually doing those things for them. I do some things with my broadcast that I'll like throw slides and screens because that's my level. Like I've gotten to a level of confidence and or organization to say, okay, I want to do this live this way or whatever. Sometimes I go live and I'm like, I don't have anything to show. I don't have anything to, excuse me, I don't have anything to really, use a image for. That's another reason why I don't always push for people to do exactly what I'm doing, but I guide you. Another part of part 1, these are like sub parts of part 1. Another thing that I wanted to share is, and I did this and I also teach this with consultations, is play your favorite music. Find something, even if maybe it's a show that you watch and it makes you laugh beforehand, like whatever the case may be, like do something that's going to get you out of your head, because for the most part, that is what happens with people. They're in their head and they're like, oh, I'm going to look funny or whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. And it might not even be that case, but if you're listening to like your favorite song or whatever that may be, and it gets you in that mood and that vibe, you're not going to worry about all this other limiting belief things. Another thing that I want you to remember when you're going live is you are talking to one person. Just one. One. Let me make it closer. One. Just one. Just one person. When you go live, if you keep in the mindset that you're just trying to connect, educate, help, motivate, whatever your thing is, one person, it makes it so much easier for you to talk. When I do speaking engagements and there's a room of 80, 100, whatever, I have an engagement coming up where I'm going to be talking to over 40,000 people. Now, are they all going to care what I have to say? Probably not. Are some of them going to care? Yeah. Will most of them be engaged? Absolutely. Because first of all, I know what I'm talking about, and that's not being cocky. That's really believing in what I'm talking about. That's why I'm doing it in the first place. But my whole point is, I'm not there thinking, oh my gosh, I have to connect with 40,000 people. I'm like, if there's one person in this room that is either inspired, educated, or motivated by what I'm saying, job done. That's it. So here's tip number 2. Take some time to generate ideas. When I do speaking engagements, one of the easiest things that I recommend is start with your frequently asked questions. Why? First of all, it saves you so much time. Like seriously, so much time. Think about people that are coming for your services. This is not lazy, by the way. People coming for your services have the same questions. So how good do you look when you say, hey, whatever their name is, I have an answer for your question. Watch this quick video. And that's a thing to keep in mind. Make sure that your video isn't like 8, 10, 12 minutes long. Nobody has time for that. You could have just responded to an email real quick. But if you're doing a video, saves time on both parties' ends. It helps so much. You could throw these videos on your website under your FAQ. So under the question, they watch that video to get their answer. Tip number 3. Tip number 3 is to keep it simple. Once again, I kind of talked about this when I first opened up, that people feel like they have to have this elaborate broadcast because they see all these other people that have an elaborate broadcast, and you're like, I have to do this. If it's not done that way, it's not gonna be good. Like, it's not true. Like, I've seen people honestly use their smartphone, but their content was so rich that it either went viral or just connected with the right people. Sorry, somebody just started their car. It startled me. But anyway, they connected with the right people. And because they connected with them, they were able to really penetrate and resonate. And then some people shared and more people shared and da-da-da-da. And I feel really bad that this car sounds like a big fart noise. Sorry, but we're gonna go to the next one. Hold on. Tip number 4 is to let people know that you either have a show or that you go live, that actually really care about what you're doing. This may be family or friends. Have those people in the beginning when you're really starting to get the ground moving or whatever, shaking or whatever you want to call it with this. Have them show up for your live so that you actually have people that care about you who can engage and comment. I know this may seem like, well, it's like when they say, oh, well, your mom likes everything you do. Like, real talk, my mother is in my Facebook group. She has a business. Yep. Nobody knows who she is because I don't shout her out like that, and I treat her just like a member. I'm not rude or anything. I'm not rude to my members, period. But what I'm trying to say, she doesn't get special treatment because she's my mom. But my whole point is that when they show up, and when you're new to it, it makes it easier because it's someone that you recognize. You know they're going to talk back because they want to see, if they really care about you, they want to see the best for you with what you're doing. So if you are committed and you show them like, hey, this is something I really, 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 really want to do, I just need some cheerleaders to start, then that will help you to really, really do it and then gain that confidence. And then as your family or friends start to like dwindle out for whatever reason, maybe they can't resonate with the content. They're like, look, I didn't cheer you on in the beginning, now I gotta go. By then you're like, thank you. You still love them, but you're like, I got this. Thank you so much. You know what I'm saying? I think you could do it. Okay, last but definitely not least, this is tip number 5, is practice, 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 practice. Practice in a private Facebook group. If you're a part of Learn with AC, you could practice in my group. I actually used to have Facebook Live challenges in the group. And I had to take 4 months off, so I stopped doing them because I just was like, I can't be consistent right now with them, and then I didn't want to disappoint people as well, so I'm taking responsibility for that. Even though there were other factors too, I'm still taking responsibility as the host of the group. But anyway, so this is something that I'm probably going to bring back in 2019 into the group, is to have Facebook Live challenges where people can really go live as if they were talking to a broader audience in this group and get feedback from the members of the group. When I was doing it, it worked really, really well. So even if you're not in a Facebook group for whatever reason, I know it's like you can get overloaded with them, go live on your personal page, but make it only me. So you're gonna change the settings to only me. So if you're gonna go live on it, what you would do is select live video like this, all right? And right here where it says public, normally like when you make a Facebook post, it asks you like friends, public, stuff like that, right? So it's kind of weird like seeing myself twice. Actually 3 times because I have a secondary display right here. But anyway, what you want to do is go to the drop down where it says more options and select only me, okay? And all of this, make sure all of this is set up because you're still practicing as if you were gonna go live, right? So make sure like you have the right mic set up, you have your right webcam. You're not gonna share your screen because the whole point of you practicing is to really talk like this to yourself, okay, in the moment. But I also will keep my tip in mind, which is you talking to one person, all right? Still do the steps, make your title. I wouldn't do any tags because no one's gonna see it. This is really for you, but definitely do the title and definitely do the description because you want to get used to doing that as well. And there's a new feature that you can create polls or trivia questions to ask your audience during your live video, which I think is cool. But if you're not there yet, don't worry about doing that. That's too much. But right, just stay right here. Hit go live, and now you're live. And use the strategies that I teach in my group. If you need a Facebook Live video script, I actually have one, so you can definitely get that from me as well. But my whole point is I'm talking to you through my fake Facebook Live on this screen. I forgot to end it. So let me go back to the primary camera. But anyway, my whole point is that you could definitely do this. You just need to practice, and you'll get to the point where you're like, oh man, this is so easy. What was I worried about? And it's like I said, some days I think I still get nervous, but not to the point where I won't execute. It's more like I just want to make sure that they really resonate with the content that I'm sharing. Why do you actually want to do Facebook Lives? Facebook Lives are a great way to engage with your audience. They definitely help to boost SEO, and you can repurpose them on places like your blog, your website. I cannot tell you how many times I've done a live, especially from my wedding business, but even for my Learn with HD education, I've done a live, and people will come to me and ask me, and I'm like, I get excited. Like, I'm literally like, because I have a video on it, and I could just send it to them, and they get to watch it at their leisure, and they get to take notes and blah, 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 blah. So my whole point is lives really, really do work in your favor. Another thing that I want to show you guys, and I'm opening up YouTube right now, and I'm going to go to the secondary display. Let's see, ready, go. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys a trick. Okay, I think this is super cool. I cannot remember if I found this randomly or someone showed me. I don't really remember, so pardon me, but I do know how to do it, so I want to share it. So if you are thinking of repurposing your lives, which you should be, you shouldn't just go live on Facebook and then just like leave it there and, you know, in Facebook land. Like, you should really repurpose it as much as possible. So if you're trying to build blog content, this is a great thing to do with your videos. What you want to do is load your videos to YouTube. Now, I think you can do it unlisted and do this, but I don't think you can do it if your video is private. So test that out first. Actually, let me know if you do this tip. Let me know whether or not it worked for you privately.
Go ahead and load your video to YouTube.
Do all the gizmos and gadgets, your title, all that good stuff, right? And then what you want to do is you want to select these three little dots right here. Listen, I don't know if you can see them because my lower third might be blocking. It's right here. All right. So I know that this word starts with an E. I always mess it up. So we're just going to call it the three little dots. All right. So you click those three little dots right here. And right here it says open transcripts. All right. Can you guys see that? I don't know if it's showing up. I don't see it on this screen. So, hold on. All right, I need to give more space so you guys can see. Okay, it's right there. So, open transcript. So, you want to click that, right? And what do you see here? Can you see it? Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. This is everything that I've said in my video, time coded. I mean, it can't get any better. The only, downfall, if you want to say that, for this is that it's not... You're gonna have to clean it up, basically. But it's a great way to actually transcribe your videos without having to pay for the transcription. If you want to pay for the transcription, you can use something like Rev.com, which I think is $1 a minute based on the length of your video. So for instance, this video is 7 minutes and 14 seconds, so it would probably cost me anywhere between $7 to $8 to get this video transcribed. If you have the time to do this, all you have to do literally is take your mouse or your cursor, whatever, and you're gonna highlight everything that you said, and then you Control-C, I'm on a Mac, or however you're gonna copy if you're on a PC. You copy it to an actual document. So I'm just gonna open up, hold on. That's not what I wanted. I'm gonna open up, you know what? I'll just open up notes just to make it easier. So I'm gonna open up notes, a clean note here. All right, and all you have to do is paste it. I just pasted it twice, so give me a second, sorry. Okay, so you have to do is paste it here. And then if this was your blog, you can either leave it like this, and I know someone who does this. And they have a professional platform. I'm like, that's so smart. If you're solo and you don't have the time, but you still want to provide words for people that like to read or want the transcript too, you want this for SEO because it counts as a word count, you could do something just like this. Disclaimer. You see me type in transcript may be flawed, or something like not exact wording. Something to let people know that the transcript was not cleaned up, but it's enough to get you through the conversation. That is a great way to transcribe your videos. And I also heard something, I don't use Rev.com, but I've heard just in the community that even people who use Rev.com, that sometimes they don't clean it up either. They're just transcribing it. So I really don't know, and I'm not even trying to throw them on the bus. First of all, that's not my style, but since I've never used it, I can't say whether that's true or false. But if that is the case, then doing something like this, you can either do like that disclaimer or make an effort to clean it up yourself. If you have a virtual assistant, this is something they can do easily with you giving them access to your YouTube. If you don't want to give them access to your YouTube, you can copy it and say, I need this transcribed for this video, whatever the case may be. And you can, because this is auto-generated, so you would select the language that you want it to be generated in, and then that is how the text will come. You can also take the timestamps off. See what I just did? I toggled them, and then you just have the text to work with. So I think when you do it this way, okay, and I copied everything. So when you do it this way, this is a great way to bring it into something like a Google Docs, where it turns it more into a paragraph form, and then you can clean it up that way. You can read it back. Something I use a lot on my Mac is I use the speech, I use a speech tool, and I wasn't always using that, but it has helped me so much because sometimes I can't hear necessarily what I'm saying as I wrote it, but when I hear the computer read it back, it's easy for me to catch like an error, or there should be a comma there, or like that made no sense. So I use a lot of the tools that are given to me, and I optimize them as much as possible. So that is a trick that I wanted to teach you about transcribing your videos. And last but definitely not least is, when you're using Facebook Live content and you want to repurpose it, you can definitely splice it up and figure out how to put it on like Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn and different places like that. But you don't want to take your actual full Facebook Live video and dump it on YouTube. It has been shown that it's not effective and it doesn't perform very well, because once people see that you're actually live, and once they see that you're actually repurposing a live, your viewer count actually drops, and you want to keep people there watching. So just think about how you can repurpose your Facebook Live. You may have to go throw it in the software, cut it up, and make it where the parts where you're not engaging with people that were live don't get entered into the version that goes onto YouTube. That's totally up to you. Like I said, you definitely always want to be testing, and you will learn your audience. But I just know that that's something that, again, that's been said in the community of video marketing strategists and teachers and educators and whatever, speakers, all that jazz, is that repurposing your live whole on YouTube is just not a good thing. So with that being said, I am so excited to see you jump into Facebook Live. Like I said, out of all the tips I've given you to start, 1, practice, 2, get started. Get rid of your limiting thoughts and beliefs and all this other stuff, and come up with those ideas. Once you start with those 3 things, everything else will kind of gel because you're doing it. All you have to do is show up and present. And I'm telling you, the more committed you are, the easier it gets. And honestly, you don't have to show your face. I know this is a big deal. I know I just crossed my eyes, right? It's a big deal for a lot of people that don't want to show their face. In that case, something that you could do, and I'll see if I can load this like really quick without slowing down too much, because I didn't have an actual, I didn't have a overlay prepared for this, but I have some that I've done before. So I'm gonna open up an old overlay. Actually, I'm gonna open up my subscribe overlay, like whatever. I'm still gonna be here, okay? So what you could do is, see how it's covering my face, entire face. You can do live videos just like this, okay, with absolutely no visuals of you. All you're doing is talking. Are there pros and cons to this? Absolutely. But what you want to do is, if you're just going to talk the whole time like this and we'll never see your face, then you need to make sure that the content you're saying is like really good, really rich. You need to make sure that your visuals as well are really good and really rich, because people don't want to just stare at this image the whole time. So even when I do lives that are where I'm using a lot of slides, I have them up for a little bit and then I'll pull them back and I'll show myself. Or like with what I'm using right now, Ecamm Live, something that I really love that you can do is you can do the picture-in-picture. Okay, so for example, let me just make sure that it's on so I can do this. Okay, so if I bring this back up, and as a matter of fact, it's not going to do it on this. Hold on. If I put it on the secondary screen, that's what will show. So if I had a slide, like let's say this was just a full screen slide, and my picture is still here. You can still see me, and the little guy right here is what I call it. So it all depends on like what you're trying to do, what connection you have with the people that you're trying to reach. So I'm Anisha Collins, video marketing strategist and content creator. I'm also a wedding photographer and cinematographer. So I help creative entrepreneurs and small business owners like you level up your business using video. I want to see you doing Facebook Live. Tag me, comment, whatever, message me. I just want to see it all. I want to see you doing it because I know you can do it and you can be successful at it.